and they better let her out fast.
And Governor Polis granted Peters clemency today. She will be released on parole June 1st.
Okay, this was not what I expected. Governor Polis, a Democrat out of Colorado, commuting the sentence of one of the most controversial election figures of 2020. Let's get into it. Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters was convicted after prosecutors said she allowed unauthorized access to election equipment following the 2020 election. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison in 2024. But now the controversy has shifted from the conviction itself to the punishment. The case had already become nationally politicized, with Trump publicly pressuring Colorado officials, demanding Peters' release, and critics accusing the administration of politically targeting Colorado through funding and federal project disputes. But Polis says his decision was based on sentencing concerns and the appeals court ruling. Whether you agree with Tina Peters' ideas or how she acted on them is not really the issue here. According to the state of Colorado, she did break the law. The real controversy now is the sentencing and whether political speech played a role in that punishment. Because the appeals court itself has raised concerns that her speech and her beliefs may have affected the sentence she received. And here we go again with the First Amendment and the messiness of free speech protections. And that's why this suddenly created one of those strange political alignments. I mean, here we have a Democrat governor, at least in part, agreeing with the concerns President Trump has raised about the sentence being excessive. Try to wrap your head around that one. While elected officials are absolutely furious.
You are no hero.
There is no person who has done more harm to our elections in Colorado than Tina Peters.
It's absolutely a core tenet that people should not be penalized for free speech.
And I'm with Governor Polis on this one. That distinction matters. And this is why people are split. Critics say this was never about free speech. They say it was about breaching election systems and damaging trust in elections. But supporters of the commutation argue that the sentence itself became political. And I tend to agree with that assessment, especially after the appeals court raised concerns about protected speech being considered during sentencing. And this is where the story gets even more convoluted. You've got one side calling this a dark day for democracy, another calling the sentence outrageous, and now even the governor is saying speech should not affect punishment. But here's the part that's actually critical to understand. The Colorado Court of Appeals did not overturn Tina Peters' conviction. She was still convicted. But the appeals court did rule that her sentence should be thrown out, arguing the trial judge may have placed too much weight on her political speech and election denial rhetoric during sentencing. And that became a major factor in Governor Polis stepping in. Polis also argued the punishment itself was wildly disproportionate for a first-time nonviolent offender, and he pointed to co-defendants connected to the election system breach receiving dramatically lighter punishments, one reportedly receiving 6 months and another receiving only probation.
We broke the news to Peter's attorney, Peter Tickton.
Oh, thank God. Thank you.
And that reaction probably tells you a lot about how this case became emotionally charged over the years. Because to critics of the governor's decision, this was about accountability. To supporters of Tina Peters, this had become more about political punishment. But in the end, this Bleeding Heart MAGA sees this through the lens of the First Amendment, and why people should understand that it applies to all Americans, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. And I'm with Polis in the appeals court on this one. The sentence did not fit the crime, not when First Amendment rights are brought to the forefront. And that wraps up this video, another jaunt into the First Amendment. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and comment. This is the Bleeding Heart MAGA, and I hope you have a blessed day.